Hello y'all on YouTube, this is Rob with Rob's Nerdy Knives. Today I have a very special review impressions of a knife that was loaned to us from Benchmade via Zach's stuff. If you haven't had a chance to check out Zach's stuff, do give him a follow and go check his channel out. Really cool guy, knows a lot about Benchmades and's got a great relationship with them. And Benchmades were some of the very first knives I started collecting, and I had a bunch of them. Some of my favorites, one I got to get back in my collection is the Adamas, or at least the Mini Adamas. I really like that one. I want to get the carbon fiber one. Crew wear was awesome. But this is the Full Immunity, and I gotta say, it's a small knife. This is definitely a portable, like a little fifth pocket knife, something maybe you carry in your pocket, almost like a slip joint, but you know, maybe as an extra knife, you know, if you're camping or something, you keep in your backpack, for many reasons, and we'll talk a little bit about that. So let's talk a little bit about the, so if you didn't know, Benchmade is USA made, it's an American made company, so there is the benefit of that, so it's made in the USA, something if you didn't know that might be, you know, something you might appreciate if you're looking for something that's more, you know, close to home here to the United States. If it doesn't mean a whole lot to you, then you know, you may not be impressed with this, but that's okay. You know, I just want to share that. This is aluminum scales on the outside, on steel liners on the inside. It is textured. You got a little dimpling on here on the, or stimpling or whatever, the little diamond pattern on the aluminum scales, which is done nice. The green anodization, I do like that color. I mean, I'm not a green color fan, but this kind of works, right? This is kind of nice. It's very woodsy. Now, if you bring this to the woods because you want to be discreet, great, but if you drop it, you're going to lose this because this color will blend in. But really cool. I do like that. Blade steel. This is a reverse tanto. I'm going to call it reverse tanto. I know it's got a little belly here, so some people might want to call it a Wharncliffe. We can call it a modified reverse tanto Wharncliffe, whatever you want, okay? If you buy the knife, you call it what you want. I'm going to call it a modified reverse tanto, maybe slash sort of pseudo, a little bit Wharncliffe-y, but not really. All right, M4 steel. That's CPM M4 steel, crucible metal, which is a great steel, very strong steel, very durable steel. It is coated, and I'm not exactly sure what the coating is. It reminds me a lot of the Mini Adamas. They had a coating on their crew wear, so if I remember what that is, I'll put it here. If not, it'll be down in the comments. But really nice for corrosion resistance. M4 is not perfectly rust resistant, but this will definitely help with corrosion for sure. This is an axis lock, and Benchmade are the one who created the axis lock. They made the first axis locks. They invented it, and then the patent ran out, and everybody else started copying it, right? Because you know now the patent's out. So that's why you have the Able lock and the crossbar lock and a whole bunch of different locks that people call it out there from different manufacturers. It's a great lock. Very strong. It goes across the tang of the blade right here and really locks in place with the Omega springs. Really nice. I do like that a lot. Okay. Thumb studs for deployment works really well for a small knife, right, on both sides. Now I will tell you, this does have a lanyard. I'm not a lanyard fan, but a lanyard works in this case, okay? For a small knife like this, sometimes that helps with holding the knife and being able to flick it and do things like that. So I can sort of see a lanyard with a small knife like this. I'm not a big fan of it, but I can understand it, okay? So that's something to consider. For those of you who love lanyards, you're going to be like laughing and rejoicing because, you know, I'm kind of open to the idea on the knife like this. It's still not one of my favorite things. I wish the knife was maybe a little bit bigger because then I would be awesome EDC. But we'll talk more about that. I do like the nice full flat grind. All the way to the top comes to a beautiful thin edge, nice sharp edge, really well sharpened, even on both sides, it looks like to me. Nice centering on the blade. When I did get it in, it was a little over tightened, so it was a little off, and then I loosened it, it worked perfectly, but then the screw would start to, the pivot would start to walk a little bit. So I reached out to Zach, and he said, just go ahead and put a little Loctite on there and make sure it gets in place, and I did, and it's been perfect. It's been dead center since, and it hasn't walked on me, and the action is just beautiful now. You can drop it and everything, see? Can just drop it right in, oops, it's the only problem with a small knife, right? You gotta make sure you get a nice grip and get a good flick on there because it's small. And I've got medium to medium large hands, so mine are large this way, medium lengthwise, so definitely kind of falls into like a full, you know, I could hide that knife in my hand, right? So there's that. How does it lock? We talked about the axis lock, which is really nice, great invention, Omega springs. But thumb stud is what works it in and works it out. And you can always see when it goes over that little crossbar. You can see it works a lot like a frame lock and a detent. See how it locks in? Works really well. I do like that. It's got some nice jimping on the blade for good grip. Can definitely get good presentation. Got a little jimping in here too, so you're not going to travel anywhere. It is definitely a 3-finger grip. You can see that. They kind of, I think they give in to the fact that this is a 3-finger knife for most people. So you get 3 full fingers on there, and the 4th one maybe wraps around the lanyard hole or goes right on the edge right there like that. And it gets a pretty good grip. This is a, I'm not going to say this is a hard, big time use knife, but I would say for a 5th pocket knife or emergency knife, this is a great knife, especially if you're going camping, you want to keep it in your backpack, you want to keep it in the 5th pocket. I think this would work out really, really well. So there's that. I do like the coating on everything. The blacked outness is really nice. Their pocket clips, Benchmade's traditional pocket clips, have always been really great. Never had an issue, never had a hot spot. Always really great. You can grip it down nice and tight, never burns your hands, really comfortable. I do like that a lot. So I think that's really awesome, okay? So there is that. And yeah, pretty comfortable. Measurements. Let's go ahead and do a measurement on this here. Let's give a little weight on the knife first. Let me get the scale. Oh, we're in grams. All right, let's get to the ounces. All right, so we're at 2.46. Yeah, 2.46 ounces, 2.47, 2.46 ounces. So there you go. That's the, pretty light knife, but it is small, so that's kind of what I expect. Let's go ahead and get a measurement on the length here. Get my ruler out. You can kind of see that. All right, so going from the tip here, all the way back, we're right at 6 inches. I would say it's exactly 6 inches total length. We look at from here, from the tip all the way to the base of the knife, it's about exactly 2.5 inches, right? If we do the cutting length, we're at about 2 3/8 inches, I would say, right? It's definitely over 2 1/4, definitely under 2.5, so 2 3/8 inches. The ratios are kind of close. They're not perfect, but they're pretty darn close, right? You want 2.5 inch of blade to 2.5 ounces, but if those of you who are into perfect ratios, it's close. I think it's not bad for what you get. It's a stocky little knife, so there you go. Let's go ahead and measure the blade stock thickness. All right, so we're at 0.096, so 96 hundredths of an inch. So 96 hundredths of an inch, which is not bad. It's just right under 1/10 of an inch. So pretty thin. That gives it that nice thinness, nice kind of a sliciness of the blade. I think that's awesome. All right, so that's the blade thickness, knife category. This does cost $270, so it's not cheap. I would say if you can find it on sale somehow, definitely would be a little more bearable for me, right? At $270, that is pricey. Benchmade has gotten up a little bit, but this is well made. I will give it to them. It is well made. Action is nice. It works really well. It's a cool little knife. For better or for worse, if you're not a Benchmade fan, you might not like this at all. But if you're a Benchmade fanatic and you love it, you're gonna be fine with the price. This is not a big deal, and especially if you can find a discount on it. I think it's a nice little knife for all the materials you get with the aluminum that's textured, with the diamond pattern, M4 blade steel, the nice coating on there with the lanyard and all that stuff. This is not a bad little knife. I personally would love to see this knife around 200, 220. I think that would be more reasonable. That's my take on it. Others would disagree, but for M4 blade steel, I think 220, 225 would be more reasonable. Even 250 would be an easier pill to swallow, but 270 is a little much. But if you can get it on sale, I think it's, it might be a really nice little addition, right? So that definitely puts it into, I want to say, in-between category for me. It puts it into the regular and high-end category. It's above the 250, which is sort of my regular category, and it's below the 275, which is my high-end. So I'd call this a little more expensive regular knife or a little less expensive high-end knife. I don't think it's really a high-end knife. I mean, it is done well. I would say it's a more expensive regular knife. So that's for me. Purpose. This is definitely an EDC. It's a hard use, M4 blade steel, everything about it. It's good grip, no hot spots when I grip this. Everything's nice and textured and chamfered all the way around. You're gonna have good grips. The jimping up here allows for nice cutting, even for precision cutting. This is a workhorse. This is definitely a user little knife that you'll be able to use well, right? So I find that this would be a nice EDC carry. It would be more of a 5th pocket knife for me, maybe in the pocket kind of hidden knife, in the backpack if I'm camping or in the car or something like that. So there's that. That's kind of where I look at this knife. Definitely a little, I would call it a mighty little warrior or a mighty little workhorse, if you will, right? That's kind of where I put it in. All right, so that's what I would talk about. The ergos and feel. Ergos and feels are for a knife this size, are surprisingly really good. No hot spots, everything's chamfered, feels comfortable. I can get a great grip. Definitely 3 fingers, but that 4th finger does work in here for my medium to medium large hands. They're medium lengthwise, medium widthwise. So definitely, you know, if you have extra large, you're definitely going to be out here with me. Double extra large, you're definitely going to be out here. You might be pushing close to the edge here, but you know, I definitely have a lot of room. I could probably choke up a little bit more on here, but I think medium, I mean large to extra large to double extra large could probably grip it the same 3 fingers. It'll work well, I think, if you're okay with a 3-finger knife. I mean, it does have a lot of potential. Deployment, the axis lock works really nice. You can reverse flick it if I can get my hand in there right. Oops. And now, of course, I'm getting in the way. Come on now. Here, I was just doing it. There we go. Reverse flick, right? Easy. And the nice thing about axis lock is it works both ways. So let's do this here. So you can do both left-handed and right-handed. Let's see here. Come on. I got the lanyard. Lanyards are you know, they can be good and they can be bad. So I have a hard time with lanyards. I'm not a big lanyard fan, right? So, but the nice thing about axis lock is you can also deploy it and close it that way, same way, right? So you can close it and then close it like that. So, you know, and as this breaks in, obviously this is a pass around. This was given to us by Benchmade and to our Apex pass around group, and I'm really appreciative. Thank you, Benchmade. I think it'll break in beautifully. You know, it'll really be nice. So. Closing design, obviously axis lock is always nice for closing, nice fidgety, one-handed work, so that's always really cool. Easy to get to the crossbar lock here. The volcano kind of ridges here work really well. Always great traction with axis, Benchmade's axis lock. I do like that. I've never had an issue with that. It's very comfortable. That works really, really well. Fidget factor, you know, you can thumb flick it, you can reverse flick it, and you can axis lock flick it. So for me, as far as fidget factor, I'd give it about a 6 out of 10 for most capable fidgety. You know, I don't know if I can do the middle. Can I? Yeah, it'll be hard. It's hard to get that middle finger. I like to middle finger flick a knife, and this one, I would have to really break this in before I could try to do that. But I would give it a 6 out of 10 for the best fidgety goodness you can get out of it. And out of that 6 out of 10, I'd probably give it a good 90%. I would say it does well, and it's doing better as it breaks in. So it's going to become, I think, a really nice little knife. But you know, it's limited to the axis lock and the thumb studs, and it's small. So that's what takes some points off for me. Still kind of cool and very fidgety for a small knife. So I'll give it a a decent rating as far as that. My overall thoughts, and is it recommended? I like it. I really do. I like it. I used to be a huge Benchmade fanboy. I was. Everything Benchmade I loved. But, you know, I discovered other knives and other things, and I enjoy those too. But I still have a little special place in Benchmade in my heart. My very first nice knife was a Mini Barrage assisted. I got it Cabela's, orange G10 scales, I believe it was. Maybe it wasn't G10, maybe it was something else. But it had a D2 steel, and I thought that was the best knife, and that was the most expensive knife I had ever bought. Significantly less than this, but it was a cool knife. I liked it. I thought it was really, really cool. And so I've always liked Benchmade. I like the Mini Adamas and the Adamas. I have a Bug Out 535-4. I love that with aluminum textured scales and the M390 blade steel. It's also coated as well, but not the same thing. I want to call this, I can't remember what this is called. Anyways, it'll be in the comments down below. But really, really kind of a nice knife. So I like Benchmade, and I do, and I'm not angry at Benchmade. I'm not, you know, I mean, I wish it was a little cheaper. I wish it was a little more affordable, no doubt. But I think if you look around, you can probably get a sale, and if you're willing to wait, you can definitely get a knife for a more decent price. But if you want to get it right away, right now, you know, it's going to cost you $270 for sure. You know, and depending on where you get it, maybe a little tax, a little shipping. So you can always use my White Mountain Knives link below, and the coupon code, my coupon code, that's RNK10. It allows you to save 10% off of most purchases. I don't know if Benchmade is excluded from it. It may not be. You may get 10% off of this. You might try it. I don't know. Sorry, I don't know beforehand. So, you know, if nothing else, you get 10% off of some other really cool knives. Check that out. But really, really nice little knife. I'm going to recommend it. I definitely going to recommend it. It's going to be a recommended knife, not a recommended high-end knife. I think for what it does, for what it wants to do, I like it. I know some people won't recommend it because it's so expensive. I think if you can get a good sale on it and you find it, I think it's a cool little knife. As long as this is what you know what you're getting. You're it's a smaller knife. It's got a smaller purpose. So if you're okay with all of that, I think it's a great little knife, and I would recommend it for that purpose alone. If you're expecting this to be as powerful and big as a Adamas or mini Adamas or 535 Benchmade or, you know, Bailout or any of those other ones, you're going to be disappointed. This is a different type of knife, and I like it for what it does. I really do. It's different and it's unique. And I know they make some of these in autos too, so if you like auto, definitely check those out. But it's comfortable. For a little itty bitty knife, it's got some nice texture, good grip. You're going to have good presentation. Yeah, I'm going to recommend this knife. I think it's definitely worth considering. If the aesthetic appeals to you, if you like Benchmade, you want to buy something USA made, go check this out for sure. So hey, thanks so much to Benchmade for allowing us to check these knives out, getting a chance to be exposed to them. I do appreciate that. Just so you know, this is my honest review. I get nothing from Benchmade out of this except to handle the knife a little early. And I will tell you, if you have a problem with the price, don't get it. Okay? If you have a problem with the price, don't get it, because I'm not gonna lie to you, it is a little pricey, but if you're okay with what you get, I would recommend it for you, okay? So because of that, that's why I recommend this. I like it for what it is. Am I gonna go out and buy this? Probably not, because there's other knives that I would have in my collection. I typically don't do green, I don't do lanyards, I don't do little tactical little type of knives like this, right? But it's cool, and it's really awesome to get a chance to handle and to be able to feel and to carry in the hand and to experience, right? I do like that. I do enjoy that, and I appreciate that very much so. So for me, I think that's cool, okay? If I were to get one of these, win one of these or something, I would love it. Yeah, I'd keep it. It'd be definitely like a car knife for sure. Because of the blade and the steel, it'd be such a great little utilitarian kind of little knife, I think. So anyways, that's my thoughts on there. Hey, what are your thoughts? Do you have any questions about this knife? Do you have any questions about this review? Do you have any questions about, that I can answer about the channel? Please let me know. If you have any suggestions for future videos, reviews, anything like that, please also text me, IM me down below. I do message me down below. I do try to reply to all the messages, especially at the channel where we're at. I have the bandwidth right now, so I will definitely try to do that. I appreciate all you guys. You guys are allowing this channel to grow, so thank you to every one of you for doing that. If you've enjoyed this content, you found it interesting, fun, worthwhile, would you please consider liking this video? And if you've liked this video, would you also consider subscribing to the channel for more content? And if you've done all that, maybe consider hitting the notification button so you can be notified of future videos and drops. Just so you know, liking and subscribing to the channel really helps out a lot. Allows the channel to do more things, do more reviews, have more products, and just grow and ultimately do something for you guys. So I really appreciate that. I appreciate every one of you guys subscribing. You guys are awesome. Thank you. And if you haven't had a chance to check me out, maybe over on also on Instagram, check me out at Robs_nerdy_knives on Instagram. Again, that's Robs_nerdy_knives on Instagram. Hey, thanks so much for watching today. Have a great day and a great week. Bye.